Hello everybody, welcome back to the video. In this video, we're going to be talking about how I plan to profit from this upcoming recession if it actually happens. And yeah, I don't know whether this is a top signal, but this kind of feels like a top signal already. The White House has officially posted that the S&P has rallied to a new high, and this guy has not actually helped us at all. Has not actually helped the market at all. Like this guy has just been playing the markets, trying to get rich and stuff like that, and helping his other friends and stuff like that. Okay, so now that we know this guy's incentive is to basically just get rich through his presidency, yeah, you probably want to align with the rich people because the rich people, generally, you can trust that they are not going to get poor, right? The rich want to get rich, okay? So probably that's the first thing you want to notice, okay? If you guys can see, the S&P is at an all-time high, okay? Everybody is like celebrating, everybody's pushing screenshots and stuff like that. So it's getting pretty frothy. I don't know whether you guys can feel it, but it kind of feels like everybody is like posting their screenshots and somewhat, right? So when everybody is feeling that, right, and everybody's making money, right, it's not a very good feeling to have because it's like, oh shit, are we at the top here? Okay, so I'm being a bit careful right now. But what I think will happen, let me just give you guys my thesis. Okay, so what is happening is that like everybody's assets are going very high. The Fed is cutting the interest rate, so the Fed is going to be printing more money, and basically they're going to make sure that the asset prices keep going up. Okay, so stocks at all-time high. Okay, I've just showed you stocks. Okay, stocks all-time high, literally, not even like a down day. That's number one. Okay, gold prices all-time high. So there's a lot of war, uncertainty, a lot of shit is happening in the world. Okay, like a lot of bad things going on, tariffs happening, economic uncertainty, people getting laid off, youth unemployment. Like shit is really bad. Okay, and the gold price is like skyrocketing. So the rich people are putting their money into an asset where they feel safe. That's why this thing is moving up. All right. The only thing that has not really like moved up crazy, is like the Bitcoin price, right? So the reason why I see the Bitcoin price in the first place, is because like they've always been predicting the 4-year cycle, and Bitcoin is not actually at the all-time high right now. I mean, it's like maybe like 10% away from the high, but it has not pumped like the other assets. It has not pumped like this. It has not pumped like this. So in the world of assets, for example, you can kind of make sure or you kind of guarantee that when everybody's in a bull market, for example, right, all assets basically go up, right? So I think crypto will be the last thing that will basically like skyrocket, and they call it the blow off top, right? Where it's like it goes like parabolic, like basically goes like this, like nothing happens, and then go boom, basically, right? Yeah. So I do believe that crypto still has a bunch of stuff that's happening, that's going to happen in Q4, and like everybody's basically like thinking that it's going to happen, right? Is that a herd mentality? Maybe, but at the same time, it's like after the Fed cuts rates most of the time, the market will rally most of the time. Okay, if we see a crash in 2026, okay, that's a situation for 2026, but we're still in 2025, so like I think it's still fine to think about this year, right? Okay, so what I think and how I position my portfolio is basically like last year, at the end of last year, I basically bought a bunch of Bitcoin in the Bitcoin ETF. Okay, so I have about 30% in my portfolio. I do hope that this actually goes from a 30% to a 60%. If it actually grows from like a 300K position to a 600K position, I mean, that'll be great. Yeah, you can see here my Bitcoin is actually underperforming the index. Okay, so a very, very disgraceful position for me, even though like I'm pretty bullish on it, but it's only up 9%, right? And if you see the index, I think the index is up like 13% or something. So I am actually underperforming the index, right? And for Bitcoin, for example, Bitcoin is also kind of like underperforming the index or like on par with it. And you already know that like all the news that they're pumping, like all the news outlets, right? All they have crypto outlets for a reason, right? Is that they want to try to pump up the price. And when they really want to pump up the price, they will increase the machines, and basically all the news media will start talking about crypto once again, blah blah blah. And I don't see that happening just yet. People are not super optimistic at this point in time. Yeah. Another thing that you have to kind of understand for like the crypto markets versus the stock markets, right? The Black Rocks and the ETFs, for example, the Vanguards of the world, for example, they make money off these things, right? So they just hold your ETFs for you, but they make money off these things. And if you did not know, right, I believe the Bitcoin ETF, right, is like the most profitable ETF that Vanguard has, or like BlackRock has ever, how do I say this? Uh, yes, okay. I'll just show you this. Okay, so basically, like you think about BlackRock, okay? So they have a bunch of money, and then they manage other people's money for them. and they take a percentage of your ETF, right? So if you buy S&P, for example, they actually take something like 0.001% or something like that, right? For the Bitcoin ETF, right, they actually do make money off this shit. So they actually do want it to go up, right? They take about 0.025%, I believe. Let me just check the expense ratio for you. Yeah. So they take about 0. Is it this one? 0.25% of the transaction of like all the assets under management. So it is in their best interest to actually have this thing and to make it go up, because the more money is in this thing, the more fees that they make. And because it's like the most profitable product that they have, basically, right? Of course they want to make more money from it. So they are going to try to pump the price at the same time. Right. So don't think for 1 second like these guys on Wall Street, right? They may be waiting for a very, very long period of time of like nothing happens. And then all they're trying to do is trying to push the price down, and then they buy more, they buy more, they buy more. Once they've decided that they have enough money that they already have bought, right? They're just gonna push it up all the way, and then they sell it at the top. Right. So that's how they play retail, basically, right? So don't fall for their tricks. It's the same thing in the stock market. It's the same thing in individual stocks as well. If they want a price, they will push the price down as fast as possible, and then they buy in, and then they ramp up the price, and then they just make the profit from there. Because they control so much money, they can do this kind of thing. All right. So strategies. So as I mentioned just now, I am basically positioning my portfolio for a crypto run. I may be totally wrong, by the way, and I could be holding the bag right now. So it's just a prediction that I have, right? So number one, I think that this president right here, his son, his family is buying a ton of crypto because they're just going to pump the market eventually. That's number one. Number two, I am considering actually buying some gold or silver. So my friend has actually told me that yeah, you should buy some gold and silver, and every single day he tells me this shit, because even my Bitcoin is underperforming the index, so it's a bit disgraceful. But he was right, He was right. His thesis was right. It's just that I don't really feel very comfortable buying at the literal all-time high. Like it's going 90 degrees, and yeah, I definitely don't want to buy at 90 degrees. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of stayed out of this trade for quite a while, but I kind of regretted it. But yeah, maybe I'll buy some small amounts and stuff like that. All right. And the third thing that I can trust in a recession is that strong companies will always stay strong, or strong companies will stay stronger. Okay. So if you think about it, right, who are the strongest companies in the space? The strongest companies are the guys at the top, the biggest dogs, right? These guys right here. Okay. And so what do these people have? They have tons of cash flow. So the amount of cash that they produce is so crazy that in a recession, for example, they're not going to go bankrupt. That's number one. Number two, because they have so much cash, right? They're going to take this cash, they're going to buy the companies that actually go bankrupt, right? And so they'll become bigger. And so that is why in a recession, big companies actually get bigger. Like they may experience a maybe 15, 20, 30% drop, etc. But if you actually see the stock price, when it drops, right, everybody buys back in because they know that these names are just like so strong and they're going to get bigger over time, right? So just factor this stuff into your thinking, and like, okay, how do I position my portfolio? What's going to happen? How do I make money even though like the world is collapsing or stuff like that, right? I always think about these things of like you got to be like 2 steps ahead, 3 steps ahead, and just think about these things, right? Another thing that I do think about is that these strong companies, right, in a recession, for example, Nvidia, right, think about where the money comes from. The money comes from people buying their GPUs and their servers. Who is buying this stuff? It's basically all of these people down here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 8, maybe. Yeah, probably 8 people. Probably eight of them buy this guys here, right? All of these people, their revenues are very, very strong. So in a recession, like they're definitely not gonna reduce the spend or amount of money they're gonna pay this guy. So this guy in a recession is just gonna get bigger, basically. Okay. And then for example, like Facebook. I mean, I spend a lot of money on Facebook. So I can tell you, in a recession, people still spend money. People still spend advertising dollars and stuff like that because they need to reach their customers, right? So this thing will still go up, right? Amazon, maybe it will take a hit, maybe because it's like retail and stuff like that. But Amazon has become such a big channel that yeah, people have to use this. Um, Alphabet, maybe advertising spend gets cut, but their cloud business, the YouTube business, yeah, maybe depend on ads as well. But definitely the cash flow is just too strong, and these companies will just buy maybe the companies on like the 200 list. All right. So if you're ever worried, right, just remember, okay, rich people want to stay rich. Okay. And then tip number 2, align with the rich people. All right. Rich people never want to lose their wealth. They are very scared of losing their wealth. Okay, so if you want to also be in the same boat in a sense, right? You want to align with them. What are they buying? What are they holding? This guy, I mean, you can clearly see his sons are literally telling you the playbook. They are literally buying crypto. They're trying to buy as much of it as possible, right? And then um, crypto, that's number one. Gold and silver, if you want some hedge, you could potentially buy some of this gold, stuff like that. And number three, obviously buy the strongest companies in the world. They will not fail you in a recession. They will not. Yeah. All right. Hopefully this is helpful to you guys. Just want to give you a framework so that you can understand how I'm thinking. But I want to teach you of like, okay, this is how you think. This is what's going to happen. And just think about like, just be critical. Like, okay, what are the things that are going to move? Things that people are going to go bankrupt. Unemployment is going to increase. Inflation is going to go crazy. Stuff like that, right? Which companies are going to survive? Which assets? Where are people going to move their money to? A recession only happens when everyone sells out of something, right? But when you sell out of something, normally they buy something else, right? So like, where's the money going to move to? Where's the money going to move to? All right. Yeah. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.